What's up, guys? So today I got a very different type of video, a video that I've never done before, and honestly that's going to be the most valuable video I ever done. I'm going to drop a bunch of knowledge, a bunch of valuable stuff, the most valuable video I ever done. I'm basically going to go step by step and give you a step-by-step guide on how I basically gain 15 to 20 pounds of lean muscles over 120 days. I've never told that to anyone, so you really want to watch that video. I honestly think this video is going to be really life-changing for you, and I would really not miss out. This video is basically going to be me going step by steps on what I did using my own method, which is called the TB method, to gain about 15 pounds of lean muscles in under 120 days. This video is crazy and so valuable. I would honestly stop anything you're doing and watch it now if you can. I strongly advise you to take some notes, come back to the video as many times as you need to, listen to it over and over again if you need to, but really don't take it seriously, and I promise this video will help you. All right, guys, so let's get right into it. Today we're gonna learn how to go from skinny with a high metabolism to pack on 15 to 20 pounds of lean muscles, and you want to keep it forever in under 120 days using my own method, the TB method. And honestly, I use that method with a lot of my clients. It's not just me, very successful. It's not just a method that just works for me. That's a method that worked for me and that translated it and adapted it to other people as well. And it's just been amazing journey. And I always promise every single one of my clients that if they don't get the result they're looking for, and they're putting all the work that I've asked them to do for the full 120 days, and yeah, they basically done everything that I asked them to do, and they didn't really missed a bunch of weeks or whatnot, then I will get them a full refund if it doesn't work whatsoever, because I'm that confident into my home program. I'm sure that it's just been working, just been amazing. And we do all that without eating 700 meals a day. Some people might want to eat 700 meals, but that's not really my cup of tea. So we don't do that over here. And we don't spend more than 8 hours at the gym unless you really want to. That's your choice. And you really can. You don't have that many other obligations. We can also design the workout plan to really fit that in your schedule. But the goal is that it's realistic, manageable, and that's not like some, hey man, let's just work out 7 days a week, and then 2 months go by and you're just something happened and you can't handle that anymore. So let's get right into it, man. There we go. So before we dive in, I want to make sure that everybody knows who this guy on the left and on the right is. They're the same guy, but his name is Terry. That's me. And I'm basically going to show you my transformation, how I gained 15 pounds of muscles in under 120 days and achieved that very aesthetic, pleasing body that you can see of a fine-looking black man on the right. And I packed up that much muscles, stayed ripped, and despite having a very fast metabolism, basically. And on the picture on the left, I was approximately 148 pounds. And on the right, as of today, I'm still 163 pounds. And I want to make sure that we really talk to the right people. So who is this for? So if you're looking to gain 15 to 20 pounds of lean muscles that you will keep, and you also want to be a shredded MF, I don't want to get demonetized or anything like that, this is for you. If you're sick of feeling lost when it comes to getting bigger and you need something simple and more proven on how to fit that into your lifestyle and making better choices and live better, and something that's not like a cookie cutter type of program that you can see with some new coaches or anything like that, then this is for you. This is very tailored to each and every single individual. Things are a little bit adapted depending on where you start from, of course. And if you do feel like you've tried everything, but you still don't have the physique that you're looking for, that you've been dreaming of, feels like you just can't get past a certain point, like you plateaued or whatnot, and you don't know how to get just past that point, this program is for you. And if you feel like you have the potential to unlock that best version of yourself, but you just need a little bit of guidance, accountability to really get there, this is also for you. So who it is not for, because we want to make sure that if this is you right there, just swipe out the video altogether. So if you want to keep trying the old ways to get big and ripped, the traditional way that you've been doing forever, that's been holding you back for years, instead of trying a new proven system, I would urge you to, swipe out the video. This is not for you. If you're looking for a quick fix as well, and you don't want to use a proven system that will keep you in shape for the rest of your life, this is also not for you. If you cannot allocate at least 4 hours a week to gym, this is also not for you. And of course, if you don't believe you can reach the ultimate version of yourself, this is definitely not for you as well. Now, let's talk about the truth about getting big, baby. So, of course, yes, you can get big with high metabolism, and you don't have to spend 17 to 18 hours a day in a gym to do so, or eating 700 calories a day neither. And the problem is that most men are just not capable of really knowing what they're supposed to do to get there, to get bigger, staying shredded, and also not having to just spend so many hours at the gym and eating 100,000 meals a day. So in this whole program, in this video, we're going to teach you a little bit about what the proper nutrition kind of looks like, efficient training, and how to use the TB method instead of a quick fix that's not going to work long term. So you don't have to worry, I'm here, I'm going to hug you, and I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to let that happen to you. Those bars. And I want to make sure that one thing is clear. There's no such things as I'm too busy, that won't work for me, anything like that. Those excuses, they don't really belong here, especially when you just need about 4 to 6 hours each week at the gym. You have no excuses, and you don't have to eat 700 meals like other people. No excuses. And you don't have to do any of those things to become the ultimate man you want to be. You don't need superhuman genetics neither. So this this is the best of both worlds. And if you want to be that guy, I'm going to show you exactly how to navigate around the issues we mentioned before, how I successfully gained that much lean muscle myself, and how I used that own program and phases to really gain tons of result gains to most of my clients. I mean, the results are honestly outstanding. And yeah, the main problem they have after the program is, man, I'm just getting too many compliments, man. They're just harassing me. How did you do it? What did you do? But they're just getting harassed with compliments, questions, and that's a good problem to have, compared to, not looking the best, feeling more insecure, maybe feeling like the smallest guy in the room, or just not being able to lift as much weight as you're supposed to or you want to, really be able to even, I don't know, being more aesthetically pleasing to your girlfriend, your wife, or your partner, or even your boys, man. Who knows? Any of that. And if you want to gain also 15 to 20 pounds of muscle in 120 days, like I said before, this is definitely going to be for you to really learn. This video is targeted for you. In case you don't know me, here's a brief backstory about how I got here. I've been working on and dieting for about 7 to 8 years. My last 3 years, I've been really focusing on helping people getting their dream physique. And some of my stats. As you can see, I'm not the tallest man in the world, but I'm still tall enough, okay? 5'7", 163 pounds, with abs and a look that most men, I would be proud of saying, would be jealous of. And as you can see, I know how to get jacked and stay jacked. Look at the pictures on the right, and you see a fine black-looking man. And I'm very passionate about this lifestyle. Anyone that knows me knows that I really love working out. I love fitness. I love all that. I love health. I love taking care of my body, looking good, feeling good, setting PRs, being stronger, all this stuff. That's my passion. Loving it, being an athlete my whole life. This is my passion. And the main reason why I got into it, coaching people, is that I just saw so many men struggling so much, seeing too little result, to no result, with the traditional approach of bulk and cut, keto diet, zero carbs, intermittent fasting, or just eating hundreds of calories a day, thousands of calories a day, or eating 5,000 calories and just looking fat, just being fat, basically. And a lot of those people also maybe I've seen a bit of results, but they were just not permanent, and they were just not. That was just not what they were looking for. So the TB method is basically the system that I built myself through all those years of failures, trial and errors, and basically almost been a decade. And my years of coaching men to their most ripped and aesthetically pleasing physiques. Now, I basically decided to break it all down for you. So you got to pay attention, man. In the following steps, I'm going to outline the entire process from A to Z of what I did to accomplish these results, so you too can use the TB method to pack on at least 15 to 20 pounds of lean muscles in 120 days, if not less. Let's get right into it. So the TB method, we're going to talk a little bit about how it's broken down, and it's basically broken down into 4 essential phases: the metabolic optimization phase, the rapid muscle growth phase, the Greek god aesthetic phase, and the final destination phase. And each one of them are broke down in 3 guidelines. You can see them. You can just look under each one of them, and you can see 3 different guidelines. And also, all of those phases have 3 major elements: the training phase, the training part of it, the nutrition part of it, and the recovery part of it. Let's get a little bit into what each of those phases can look like. So the metabolic optimization phase is about 14 days, which is what I did. Some people might need 30 days to really set their body back to where it's supposed to be, or really optimize their body to what it's supposed to be to get in the next phase, because the next phase is the real phase. But you need to not neglect that metabolic optimization phase, because if you do, you're just not going to gain as much muscles. You might gain more fat than you think, and your body's just not going to be working with you, but against you. So that's a very, very crucial step. So the metabolic optimization is basically about moderate rep ranges and volumes, nothing too crazy, no PRs, no going to failures, just preparing your body to really get to the next level. And then you want to also make sure that you're hitting your maintenance food intake. And if you don't know how many calories you're supposed to be eating, well, that's bad. But you can just Google it. It's so simple. You can just Google it. Height, weight, activity levels are going to ask you. Enter those things. They're going to give you an estimate. It's not going to be completely right, but it's going to give you a good guess on where you should be at. And I would recommend you to honestly track your food for a week or two if you don't know exactly how many calories you're approximately eating. Or same thing with macros, at least proteins. And the rapid muscle growth is about 30 to 45 days. It's the hook phase. We're going big, we're getting strong, and we're hitting PRs, man, left and right. The rep range is going to be a lot lower, and the foot intake is going to be higher, but not extremely higher. And the Greek God aesthetic phase is where we're going to lean out. We're going to lean out, burn out all the excess fat that's not needed that we got from the rapid muscle growth, and really have that really well-shaped physique, and with a lot more muscles than fat. And that's going to be about 14 to 30 days. The rep ranges, we're going to go up, and the food intake is going to be a little mini cut to a degree. And then we're going to enter the final destination, which is 30 to 45 days. And that's a lean bulk phase. We're going to go low in rep ranges again, high in food intake, but we're going to be very strategic in how we're going to get there so we don't add excess body fat, because we don't want that. We want to make sure we keep as much muscle as possible, but really get rid of all the fat we can as long as we can stay healthy at the same time. So let's get right into it. Training, nutrition, and recovery. There's multiple aspects and component to it. The training, the intensity of your training, the form that you're using, the selection of the exercises, the cardio. For the purpose of this whole video, that I'm gonna assume that you're not doing any type of cardio. If you are, that'll be a different story. Things will be a little bit different, because if you're burning a lot of calories through doing cardio, you might need to do a bit of different things here and there. But the intensity, the weight that you're using, the reps, the sets, the rest period, and the time at attention is going to be very valuable to know. The form, your grip strength, and the selection, basically the split that you're using, the exercises that you're picking, the sets and reps that you're also picking. And for the cardio, if you're doing cardio, make sure you're not doing too much, because the more cardio you do, the more challenging it's going to be for you to be able to really get to that level. Nutrition, we're going to talk about some of the macros calories that I've basically been on, meal selection, some of the meal timing, and cheat meals that I've had myself. Recovery, sleep quality. I didn't talk too much about the recovery part of it, because it's going to be more about make sure you don't overtrain and don't go to failure each and every single day. And also, I mean, a big part of recovery is going to be what you eat. So, but one thing about sleep quality that I've done that's very, 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 very crucial that people just don't do is you need to try the hardest you can to sleep before midnight. Apparently, Americans just don't know that. That might be a French thing, but any sleep before midnight is a way better sleep than after midnight in terms of quality. It's everywhere. My dad was a doctor, my mom was a nurse. I had the opportunity to just be told that each and every single day just because I was going to bed every day at 2 a.m. And yeah, this is not the way. So don't do that. So as for rest days in the recovery part of it, honestly, you gotta make sure that you give your body some rest. One thing that I've done and I do with my clients is that if you're too sore or something like that, you maybe don't work out as hard today, or you don't work out at all, and you skip to another day. Myself, I was working out about 4 times a week, and most of my clients also work out about 4 times a week, and they give themselves about 3 days each week to maybe rest, to just stay away from all workout activities. I mean, if you want to play basketball on the weekend, play volleyball, anything like that, that's cool. That's not gonna like kill you or anything like that. Hope so. But yeah, let's get into the metabolic optimization phase, baby. Day 1 to day 14. So in this phase, the main goal was to really, really reset your body, get your body to really work with you, not against you. So one thing that I want to point out is that each and every single one of those phases, you gotta have a different workout plan. You gotta work out differently. Your exercises gotta be different, etc. If they're the same, if I'm, I guess, trying to the first phase to the second phase to the third phase to the fourth phase, you do the exact same exercises with similar intensities or maybe approaches, you're probably not going to see a significant result. You might see some results, but I'm not going to lie. The real result is changing things up a lot more. So as you can see, moderate rep ranges kind of look like 10 to 12 reps. And the moderate weight was kind of challenging, but not overbearing. Not too much, not too little. Just a good little, just the good range in the middle, right in the middle. And the volume, I was about 3 to 6 different exercises per muscle group. And that's about average, I would say. And I worked out about 3 to 4 times a week, I think. So you're free to work out anytime from 3 to 5, I would say. 6 would be a little too much for this phase of the training. And I rested about 1 minute, so you should do the same. And make sure you don't go over. Make sure you keep a timer on. Make sure you don't go too low, and that's not like 30 seconds neither. So make sure you really try to stay right by 1 minute. All right, so the metabolic optimization phase, the nutrition side of it. So really, I hope you do know your calories intake. If you don't, as I said before, you can just check it online, Google it, and you can figure it out. All your macros, and honestly, you just want to reset your body. So you want to make sure that you eat at a maintenance level. So for most men, I think it's around 2,500 calories a day. You want to be somewhere around that. So I would strongly encourage you to track your calories for 1 to 2 weeks. That's what I do with each and every single one of my clients. We track calories for about a week, 2 weeks, just to get a real idea so you can really understand where you're at. because most people actually overestimate or underestimate where they're at, and then you think you're really eating 3,000 calories, but you're eating 2,500 or 3,500. And a little tip that most people don't know, and a little secret basically that most people don't know, is that if you go to Chipotle, you go to any fast food places, restaurant, or anything like that, they're permitted by law to be wrong in their calories or macros by up to 20%. Meaning that if you think you're eating a 1,000 calorie bowl from Chipotle, you might be actually eating 800 calories or 1,200 calories. Yeah, the whole thing is like, yo, you really reset your body. You have your body working with you and not against you, because most people, fat loss to muscle gain, tend to really like that thing right there, which is resetting your body. And that's the main thing to really be able to like get to the next level. So if you neglect that phase and that part of it, you're probably gonna either completely fail. I mean, you might not gain that much, or you might see a little bit of result, but they might not sustain as well. So you really want to not neglect that phase at all. And the nutrition side of it is the most important phase. I was meal prepping at the time. I was really trying to make sure I hit my macros. And honestly, if you can't even meal prep for 3 or 4 5 days, you're probably just lazy. It would take you less than 2 hours. One Sunday, 2 hours, you got all your meals ready for lunch, dinner, even breakfast. Breakfast could be a shake, depends, especially in that phase, because it's gonna be really just stay where you're supposed to be in terms of calories. Just hit your maintenance level. Don't go too crazy. Don't go over it. Don't go below it. It's the goal is to really reset your metabolism so your body is gonna really work with you to build muscles that it should. And why is this important? Because it's gonna also bring you a lot of awareness into what you put into your mouth, basically. How much calories you're really eating, what type of calories you're eating, what type of food you're eating, and what does that look like? How's your weight changing too? All those things are very, very crucial. And if you can really just take maybe a week, 2 weeks to track them, to really make sure you're getting somewhere, that you have a good idea, then you're gonna be in trouble. Let's get into the real fun phase, man. The rapid muscle growth phase, baby. So the training worked out about 3 to 4 times a week. That's all. About 4 times to be exact, 4 to 5 sometimes. And I stop all types of cardio. And if you do love maybe playing basketball on weekends, volleyball, football, anything like that, maybe boxing or anything, you're free to do so. I would recommend you to really reduce it to a degree. Maybe do half of what you usually do in terms of cardio, or 30 if you even can. Cancel it all together if you can, just to really reset your body, to really focus solely on building some real lean ass muscles. So in this phase, we're gonna go low in reps, 4 to 8 reps, and we're going to go and try to max out. Not every day, but we're going to make sure that we push ourselves. We go heavy in weight, and we're gonna lower the training volume, meaning that there are gonna be a lot less sets and reps. But all those sets is gonna be very important, meaning that you got to push yourself. Doesn't mean you got to go to failure every time, but you got to challenge yourself, and you got to make sure you rest a decent amount between each and every single set. That's gonna be very, very crucial. About 2 to 4 minutes. And we're really going to focus on strength, intensity, setting PRs, and really growing maximum muscle mass. This is a real fun phase. And the nutrition type of stuff, the nutrition side of it, I increase my calories to be in a calorie surplus, which a calorie surplus is about 200 to 500 calories over your maintenance level. So basically, what you were eating in the previous stage, you're going to be eating about 2 to 500. You got to really make sure you weight yourself at the same time, in the same manner, after the same type of food if you can, to make sure that you really know if 200 is enough. 500 might be more. It depends sometimes of multiple factors. So the range is usually from 200 to 500 calories over. Macro split was about 25 to 35% of my macro split. Basically, I was eating 25 to 35% of my macros from proteins and the rest from carbs and fats. Fats was the lowest, I believe, and carbs the highest, and should most of the time be the highest. And I just kept the same daily calorie range until I plateaued. Then you slightly increase once again, another 200, maybe 200 to 400 this time. See how that goes. The scale is going to be really your best friend, because you got to really make sure that you know where you're getting, where you're going. You want to make sure you're not just eating what you think you might be eating, and your body's not reacting. And then if that does happen, you have to make sure you question yourself. I had about 2 cheat meals a week. My type of cheat meals were mostly pizzas and sometimes some fried chicken or whatever. Uh, Mainly pizzas, to be honest. Burgers here and there. But yeah, I really didn't care too much about what they were. I mean, you want to make sure you do have 2 cheat meals to really eat something that is maybe very more unhealthy and maybe not supposed to be in your diet. And you can be a little bit more free on that phase, because it's not too strict on trying to really get the most healthy, wise type of food, but you also don't want to just eat like junk food each and every single day. Meaning that most of the other days you really want to make sure you hit those proteins, this protein intake, etc. But on the cheat meals, it doesn't really matter that much. Just make sure you just basically eat what you want. But that doesn't mean the whole day. That just means 2 meals, okay? The Greek god aesthetic phase, baby. That's where the torture really begins. That's where we get to the real lean out phase. You're gonna look amazing, man. You're gonna look amazing. That's why I look the best. And I remember it. I mean, just look at the picture on the right. Look at this. That's how you're gonna be looking like. So the rep range is gonna be about 12 to 25 reps. So we're gonna go a lot higher. I would suggest you to be around 15, 15 to 18, maybe if you can, to really go light in weights. You don't want to be doing the same weight you were doing in the previous phase. In that phase, you want to go a little bit slightly or a lot more lighter, depending on how, I guess, how tired you get, how difficult it is for you, etc. Don't just, try to do the same weight you did previously into that phase. You're just gonna get injured. So please don't do that. And the volumes and sets the volume's gonna be higher. There's gonna be more sets, more reps. So I had to think around. So there are gonna be more sets and more reps, and you're gonna have to make sure that you find the baseline of your level of your strength. And the whole goal of this phase is really to lean out, keep as much muscles as possible, cut out all the excess fat, and part of it is why we're resting only 30 to 45 seconds. It's going to be very challenging for a lot of you here. So make sure you really pick a weight that's manageable. Don't go and try to PR on 30 to 45 seconds. Make sure you really hit those 30 to 45 seconds of rest. Don't overdo it. Don't go 2 minutes again. That's a key. That's how I gained so much. And honestly, I still think back and I'm like, man, I got to go back to it. How did I eat for the gut aesthetic phase? I was in a calorie deficit, a mini cut. I increased my protein intake to 35 to 45% this time. So now I really focused a little bit more on my proteins. All you have to do is literally, hey, now it's macros. Just hit your proteins. It's not that difficult, honestly. I mean, you can still have 2 cheat meals a week, which is what I did. So you make sure most of the other days and meals you really hit those protein intakes, and it is not that difficult. The little trick that I had is before anything you eat your protein. Once you eat that protein, you can eat the rest. Most of the time, protein is just gonna satiate you and it's gonna make you less hungry. So you're very likely gonna eat a lot less. But you want to make sure you hit that protein goal. And if you didn't, you missed it by 10 grams or so, it's not the end of the world. And that macro is really gonna basically make you lose body fat and deplete your body of any of the excess fat. And and we want you to really reach that sponge-like state where after that your body's gonna be very reactive and ready to respond to putting on new muscles. And that's gonna be the next phase, and which is why we need that little phase to really reset your body a little bit slightly, really prime it to really build more muscles for the next phase. Very crucial phase. And now the final destination phase, the most important phase. Very, very important. You don't want to miss that one, because after the previous phase, you're in that sponge-like state. So now we're going back to higher weight, heavier weight, lower rep ranges. We're going straight to 5 or 3 rep ranges. You want to make sure you warm up properly. Don't go and just PR the moment you walked in the gym. Make sure you warm up properly. And then here, we're going to go back and we're going to make sure we hit some heavy weight, and we're going to have a lot less sets again and reps, but that's going to be more challenging. The rest period this time is going to be at least 3 to 5 minutes. So really take your time. If you have to take a timer to make sure you hit at least 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or 5, do it. Make sure you do. And trust me, the gains, the PRs, and everything you'll do from there will be unbelievable. And the goal of this phase is to reach maximum strength, really up your intensity, set some max PRs again, and while growing maximum lean muscles. I mean, that phase was just unbelievable to me. I looked amazing and I was setting PRs. I just had the best of both worlds, and I still do. Nutrition side of things. So to take advantage of that sponge-like effect, like we said, from being in a calorie deficit, to be able to gain new muscles while we already decrease the body fat, you need to be very careful of your macros and calories over this period. You need to make sure the goal is to really fill out the physique you have with zero fat gain. We still have 2 cheat meals a week, but you go to another calorie surplus. But this time, you make sure you stay around 30% of protein intake, and the rest, you make sure you just stay in a calorie surplus. But you want to make sure you really gain about maybe a pound, 2 pounds per week. Nothing more. Nothing more. I would recommend a pound if you really can, or a pound and a half. That would be optimal, because each and every single pound you're going to gain is going to be like add it to your physique directly. And you want to make sure that's really muscles as much as possible. The faster you're going to gain pounds, the faster that the more that's going to be fat. So you want to take time and you just focus on 1 pound a week. The TB method is basically meant to reset your metabolism so your body isn't working against you. Instead, it is working to pack as much muscles as possible while stripping away all the unnecessary body fat so you're left with a full muscular frame in under 120 days. For me, I made dozens of mistakes doing solo. Looking back at it, honestly would have packed on another 30 pounds of lean muscles if I just had someone with more experience coaching me through it all rather than just making hundreds of mistakes, going through some injuries, etc. And that's the base that a lot of men need to finally get in shape, regardless of how fast your metabolism is. Mine has been fast for my whole life, and that worked for me perfectly, and so did that work for all of my clients as well. Now that you understand exactly how this process works, I do have an offer for you. If you have a high metabolism, or you're skinny or underweight, or you're sick of not having the physique that you want, or all of the above, matter of fact, and are ready to look like a god with or without a shirt off, and you want to really make the biggest physical progress you ever had, and you want to pack 15 to 20 pounds of lean muscles in 120 days or less without eating at 5,000, 7,000, 9,000 calories a day or working out 10 plus hours a week using the TB method. And if it doesn't work, I'll refund you anything. I'm that confident in it. So guys, if you found this video valuable and you're just sick of not having the physique you've been wanting to have for so long, you want to learn how to pack on 15 to 20 pounds of lean muscles and keep it forever without having to give up your favorite food or just go on a 5,000, 7,000 calorie bulk or spend more than like 10 hours at the gym, and you want to be able to do that under 120 days using the TB method, you can go ahead and book a call with me down below and I'll see if you're a good fit for the team. I know this is a very different type of video for me. I don't usually do such in-depth educational type of videos, but I just really wanted to go into details and really show you what I've done to really achieve the physique I did and how I got so many of my clients completely from out of shape to transforming their whole life around. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.